Our next student today is Marcela Herrera. Marcela has been an important part of the team ever since she arrived on campus, appearing in 72 games for the Bison and making 41 starts. She scored 35 goals in her career at Bucknell and has also dished out 42 assists. Marcela handed out a career-best 4 assists in the win over Gannon last Friday and has earned superior recognition from the CWPC for her work in the classroom in each of the past 3 seasons. A biology major from Windermere, Florida, Marcela Herrera. And last but not least, our final senior today is Callie Hyde. Callie, who just won CWPA Division I Player of the Week a few days ago, has enjoyed a decorated career for the Orange and Blue. Callie was named an honorable mention All-American last season and ranks 8th on Bucknell's all-time scoring list with 188 career goals. Callie appears twice on Bucknell's single-season ejection drawings list and earned all-conference honors last season. An international relations major from Garden Grove, California, Callie Hyde.
Nice way to start out our final game of the day. Marcela Herrera, Ali Ferrano, and Callie Hyam, the 3 seniors in Bucknell, getting recognized for their careers. Ferrano and Hyam, 2 members of the program's top 10 all-time leading goal scorers. Ferrano with 275, she's the all-time goal scorer. Hyam, 188, that's 8th all-time, so there's a possibility Hyam, if she gets 12 more goals this season, and there is time, could get to 200 and join select company. So in less than 8 minutes, we'll be getting ready for our 3rd and final game of the tournament. Bucknell and St. Francis, for these teams, 0-1 in the day. Bucknell suffered a 9-goal loss to Michigan, while St. Francis succumbed to the number 7 Michigan Wolverines by a score of 20-3. Both of these teams are 1-2 in the CWPA Division I ranks. So the winner of this game would get sole possession of 2nd place. The other team would be 3rd place, as Mount St. Mary's is in 4th. George Washington not participating this season, and the Colonials had announced that the women's program would cease after this season. You're watching Spring 2021 CWPA Women's Division I Varsity action on the CWPA Network. You're just joining us. A few minutes ago, we had the senior recognition ceremony for the Bucknell seniors. Ali Ferrano, Marcela Herrera, and Callie Hyam. Callie Hyam, daughter of LaSalle University head coach John Hyam. John McBride's in his 10th season for Bucknell. He is 142 and 131 all-time. He is the program's all-time leading coach in terms of wins. He has the most coaching wins in program history. Jay O'Neill in his 4th season for St. Francis, and he's really turned it around. In fact, O'Neill's 4th season, this is the program's 5th overall for St. Francis. This is the first season in which St. Francis has been ranked number 25 right now, the 3rd time this season. Red Fresh cracked the top 25. This is the first of 2 meetings this season between Bucknell and St. Francis. The next one would be next Saturday, April 17th, circumstances permitting, at Mount St. Mary's in Emmitsburg, Maryland. Bucknell is 8-0 all time against St. Francis. The Red Fresh looking for its first win not only against the Bison, but all-time here against Bucknell, 0-4. The Red Flash is 8-16 all-time here in Lewisburg. The officials for this tournament: Val Vasiljakov, Heather Lalenga Wheeler, with Justin Hawk as the alternate. Bucknell in dark will be going right to left. St. Francis in white will be left to right. And after this game, we will be done for the weekend. And each of these teams will have 2 games remaining. As Bucknell next weekend would take on Mount St. Mary's and St. Francis. And then the Red Flash would also take on Mount St. Mary's and Bucknell. So Callie Hyam, she has 33 goals on the season. Allie Ferrano has also scored plenty. Ferrano with 275 in her collegiate career. And in about 13 days' time, if the circumstances permit, would be the Collegiate Water Polo Association Division I Women's Conference Championship Tournament at University of Michigan. Michigan has already clinched the top seed in that tournament at 6-0, has played all of its conference games. The Wolverines are white hot, 12 consecutive wins, all of them involving 10 plus offensive goals in each game. And they're a boatload of scorers for Michigan. The Wolverines have won 19 straight conference games and haven't lost in CWPA play since 2018. Bucknell has lost twice to Michigan this season, both by at least 9 goals. St. Francis 0-3 against the Wolverines this season. In a few minutes, we'll be set to hit the water and go 6-on-6. Sam Gove, the sophomore, is in goal. Came into the season as a field player. The main goalies for Bucknell electing not to participate this season. Both of these teams, St. Francis and Bucknell, each dropping contests to Michigan earlier today. Last time Bucknell and St. Francis played each other was on February 29, 2020 at the Michigan Invitational. The Bison took down the Red Flash by a count of 10-5. In the 20-3 loss to Michigan earlier today, Mies Sukes, I believe, had 2 of the goals for St. Francis. If you look at our statistics, the other goal in that 17-goal loss had been by Taylor Halbauer. Halbauer had 40 goals in her freshman campaign in 2020 before the season came to a screeching halt due to the coronavirus pandemic. Of course, this has been a season like no other in which you don't have a crowd on hand. Hopefully for the CWPA Division I Women's Varsity Championship Tournament, tentatively April 24th, a 4-game tournament involving Michigan, Bucknell, St. Francis, PA, and Mount St. Mary's. There would be spectators for each game, but there would be social distancing in place. Only a certain number of passes would be issued to each team. You have to be at least 20 feet away minimum from Tier 1 personnel. Of course, that is subject to change. Jay McNeil, the head coach of St. Francis. And John McBride, the 10th year head coach for Bucknell. McBride also the men's head coach for Bucknell. Now it is 2:30 p.m. Eastern. It's time to get our third and final game on track. We're going to get the clock reset. Hopefully throughout the game we'll also show you the scoreboard to give you a sense of the current score and how much time is left, since we are doing this remotely. And I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. Sunday, April 11th, 2021. Our last game up of the day. Number 21, Bucknell in the dark, and number 25, St. Francis University of Pennsylvania, of Loretto, Pennsylvania, in white. Our third straight game today involving top 25 foes. The only team in this division not ranked is Mount St. Mary's, a first-year program, which is still looking to get in the win column in conference play. It is St. Francis in white going left to right, getting the tip here on Bucknell's Senior Day. Ordinary foul. Each member of St. Francis, they were a freshman, sophomore, or junior. Ordinary foul at around 2 meters. Ball was pushed out of play, so it'll be recovered by the red flash. Ten on the shot clock now. Marcelo Herrera guarding. 3 in the shot clock and picked off in the field by Bucknell. So no score in the first minute. Bucknell now on the attack. Pass got away from Abby Carter. Bucknell has that blocked, and it's Rosalinda Rivera, the April 5th Defensive Player of the Week in Division I, getting the nod. Heather Jacobson had net duty in the 20-3 loss to Michigan earlier today. St. Francis now on the attack heading left to right. St. Francis, I believe, has yet to score double figures in its meetings against Bucknell. The possession will now head to the Bison and Sam Gove. Now on the attack, Rivera keeping guard. Now from the left flat, set inside. Well, their first 6-on-5 opportunity. Bucknell can be a bit dangerous in the 6-on-5. Now to the 1 position, Hayden Lang called for the exclusion. You get 3 total exclusions. You'll be out of the game. Ali Ferrano will be close to even strength. And it gets past Rivera. That's Callie Hyam. Callie Hyam, the senior from Garden Grove. That's her 34th of the season, 189th for her career. It's now 1-0 Bucknell, couple minutes in. Each game this season, Hyam has at least 3 goals in what she's played. Paige Ferrano credited with the assist. Allie's younger sister. Now Sam Gove guarding. That's Abby Carter. Carter gets it back. Julia Bradford. Ordinary foul. SFU gets it picked off. Now off to the races. Hyam. Believe Paige Ferrano. Ordinary foul. Dribbling right to left in dark. Spinning around. Paige Ferrano. Paige Ferrano. We'll get it back. Ferrano. Herrera with the cross. Nothing doing on that play. Lang and Addison Williams have one exclusion apiece so far for St. Francis. Megan McCroy has an exclusion to her credit for Bucknell. So we are 3+ minutes in. Just one goal so far. The lob out of play. Goal throw for Gove. Both of these teams are 1 and 2 in conference play. Each will have 2 remaining conference games if the circumstances permit next weekend in Emmitsburg, Maryland at Mount St. Mary's, which will include a meeting against each other again, Bucknell and SFU. Now digging deep inside, taking near the point, but blocked down by Rivera. The junior out of Hatfield, Pennsylvania. A very good high school program in North Penn High School led by Jason Grubb. Grubb is also a CWPA official. Seven seconds left on the shot clock for St. Francis. That has been a problem all season, managing the time. There'll be a shot clock violation for SFU. Now 3 or so minutes, maybe less, left here in the first. 1-0 Bison. It's Ferrano. Now Ferrano with 275 career scores. Number 1 all-time in the program. Set up inside. And they'll be turned over. And it looks like there'll also be a timeout taken. And we have a stoppage of 2:33 go in the first period of play. It's number 21 Bucknell in dark 1. Number 25 St. Francis University in white 0. Be sure to check out the CWPA podcast PoloCast. We take a deep dive into some of the most prominent people of water polo. We talk about the sport, their lives, who they are, and how they got there. With host George Gross Jr. New episodes are released twice a month. Be sure to check out PoloCast, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. So, Kelly Hyam, the lone tally so far in this game, her 34th of the campaign, her 189th at this point of her career. One of 3 seniors, along with Marcella Herrera of Windermere, Florida, and Ali Ferrano, senior from Stanford, Connecticut. So Jay O'Neill used his first full timeout. Sam Gove does a nice job diverting it from the plane. Now Bucknell setting up. 2 minutes to go in the first. 1-0 Bison. 7 on the shot clock. They're going to do it now. Ferrano skips, and Rosalinda Rivera won't budge. There are 5 players in program history for Bucknell with 200-plus goals. You have Ferrano, number 1. Megan Jins, number 2 at 237. Valentina Rosas with 232 at number 3. Aubrey Rowe, 222. And number 5, Candace Canonica with 202. And St. Francis able to strike even. Taylor Halbauer, a sophomore out of Edmonton, Alberta, makes it 1-1. So a 1-1 contest now. The 20-3 loss to Michigan earlier today snapped St. Francis 3-game winning streak. They had a 3-game winning streak. Oh wow, able to get through the defense to scorch it home. Bella Moynihan, goodness. Her first of the contest. Bucknell takes a 2-1 advantage with limited time to go in our opening period. There's been one tie. Bucknell has not trailed. Ordinary foul. It's St. Francis going left to right into the arms of Gove. Bucknell dribbling right to left. And Bucknell last season had been off to its best start before the pandemic canceled the rest. Started 12-1. At the time of the cancellation, had been 15-4. Sails wide left. Should be a corner from the 5 position, the right corner for the Bucknell Bison of Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, here at Kinney Natatorium. Right now, Bucknell 2 of 7 shooting. And we'll see where we're at after 1 quarter of play, as that was no goal. There's the Bucknell Bison in dark 2, and the St. Francis Red Flash in white 1. Moynihan Hyam, your goal scorers for Bucknell. Taylor Halbauer, the lone tally for the Red Flash. So SFU 1 of 4 on shots, Bucknell 2 of 7. 2 exclusions for St. Francis, 1 for Bucknell. Bucknell 1 of 2 on the power play, 0 of 1 for St. Francis. The CWPA YouTube channel is your #1 video source for everything water polo. Check out our Tip of the Week series, Inside Water Movements, Highlights, Game of the Week, and more. Visit youtube.com and search CWPA Water Polo. So on Bucknell Senior Day, the Bison have a slim lead of 2-1. Bella Moynihan able to give the Bison back the lead after having a 1-0 lead. St. Francis got a goal from Halbauer and Moynihan was able to get it back for Bucknell. So we head into our second period of play. On the NCAA scoreboard, number 13 Pacific has a 13-4 edge on Fresno Pacific. And in the top 10 showdown in Irvine, California, number 8 Hawaii has a 7-4 lead on the host, number 6 UC Irvine Anteaters. The number 21 Bucknell Bison with the 2-1 lead, and sorry for the mix-up there, it's 2-1 in favor of Bucknell, not St. Francis. Had a bit of a scoreboard malfunction. It's Bucknell leading 2-1. Thank you for pointing it out. The goal by Haubauer was her second of the day, as Amise Sukes, the reigning CWPA Division I Rookie of the Week, had the other two in the 20-3 loss to Michigan not too long ago. Now it'll be the second quarter sprint. SFU in white going left to right. And it's Bucknell in dark, right to left. Ball is being dropped. And it's Julia Bradford taking the sprint against Marcela Herrera. And St. Francis 0-8 all-time against the Bison, including 0-4 here in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. Will set up. Takes the fake back. Ooh, I don't believe Bucknell is ready for that. St. Francis heading left to right in white. There's a dangerous pass. There's a clean pick. Here comes Bucknell swimming right to left. Good dribble. Rivera waiting. Oh, wide opening and missed the handle. That spelled trouble for St. Francis, and the post saves the day for that moment. That is one possession Bucknell's going to want back. A minute into the second quarter. And now Bucknell pressing so hard, St. Francis can't get even out of the half-distance area. Ordinary foul. St. Francis didn't even know how much time was left. Sailed it out of play. In the St. Francis program, 5th season, just one regular season win. Came a couple weeks ago, March 21st, 18-7 against Mount St. Mary's. First ever regular season conference win. Dating back to 2017, just 2 conference wins total. Won a championship tournament game against George Washington a couple years back. Loose ball. There's Linda Rivera has the loose change. Didn't feel that long ago in which we actually started the season. Some teams started in February, some in March. Also, you had the men's season in February and March as well, since the fall had been postponed to the winter. There was another missed chance. St. Francis, a little too much oomph. And here comes Bucknell heading right to left in dark. It's the same score as the first ended. Not anymore. Had to get the flame on that. And Paige Verano getting her first tally of the contest. And Bucknell stretches the lead to 2. About halfway through, plus the second quarter of play. Bucknell 3 of 10 on shots. SFU 1 of 6. Ordinary foul. St. Francis now coming ahead. SFU started the season with a 12-8 overtime win against Salem February 6th in the Hoosier Invite in Indiana. Went 2-2 that weekend. That also included a 5-game win streak. Lost the last game and then lost the next 4 before getting a win against Mount St. Mary's 17-7 at the Villanova Invitational. Went 3-1 the weekend of March 6th and 7th. Now going inside, and Rivera can't do anything about that. Megan LaCroix, co-player of the week in this conference with Haley Hyam, April 5th. She gets her first goal. It's 4-1 now in favor of the Bison. So Hyam, McCoy, Moynihan, and Paige Ferrano with scores. Timeout called by Jay O'Neill, as Callie Hyam is excluded. And it looks like this is going to be a 30-second timeout, so St. Francis has used its lone 30-second timeout of regulation. This is an interesting time to use it. So Hyam off for 20 seconds, and Sam Gove with her left hand brushes it off. Now Bucknell with 2 in the first, 2 in the second. Would like it to grow even further. Gove has made 4 saves. Rivera at least 6. Rivera now eyeing the rock. Gove, sophomore from Rockport, Massachusetts. Under 10 on the shot clock. Woo, a scribble squabble. Nice sweep shot. 5-1 now for number 21 Bucknell. Paige Ferrano with her second. 5 of 12 in terms of shots. .417 shooting clip. It was close in the first quarter, 2-1 Bucknell, and now it looks like the Bison are starting to get in the rhythm. There have been some mishaps. Wide open nets, clanked by the post. Time running out here in the first half, though. Under 8 on the shot clock. We'll have to take a heave right at Sam Gove. A win by either team will put itself in sole possession of second place in the CWPA Division I conference, with 2 conference games apiece remaining next Saturday, April 17th, if the schedule can remain. With this season, there have been a lot of schedule changes. Score changes that time. Paige Ferrano, her third. It's now 6-1 with 2:53 to go. And you can make that a 5-0 Bucknell run, dating back to the first. Dating back to 2018, Bucknell is 14-7 here at Kinney Natatorium. So it's nice to be home. couple of those losses came this season against the University of Michigan, once on March 20th, once earlier today. Exclusion foul called on Bucknell. This is definitely a time you don't want to take for granted if you're St. Francis. Paige Ferrano, the guilty party. Digging deep and scores! Emi's Suits, her first of the game, her third of the day, and it's now 6-2. In a 2-0 day last Friday, April 3rd, against Gannon and Mercyhurst, Sukes didn't score many goals, but played a key part in helping the St. Francis Red Flash remain in the win column. Skip shot! Oh, wow. You can't extinguish that flame. Ali Ferrano, number 276, and counting. It might be a while before someone catches up to her on the all-time scoring list. Winner of this game would improve to 2-2 in the conference and be in second place. Michigan finishes its regular season slate already, 6-0 in the conference. Bucknell gets another exclusion foul, so St. Francis would love to take advantage again, down by 5. 7-2. 2 in the first, 5 in the second. You hear don't foul. Unfortunately, because of that, the ball is turned over. And now Bucknell will be on the 6-on-5. And I think John McBride will call for a timeout. Emi Sukes, freshman out of Budapest, Hungary, called for the exclusion, drawn by Paige Ferrano. One in the first, one in the second so far for St. Francis. SFU would love to get a win here to potentially remain in the top 25. This is only the third week, I believe, in program history the Red Flash have a number next to its name. Bucknell on the power play. Digging deep inside with the egg beater. Will go for dry pass to the right. Get it back. Ferrano! Oh, Rivera lets that one through. Fourth of the contest for the junior of Stanford, Paige Ferrano. That's 5 goals in the second quarter by players whose last name is Ferrano. 5 of the 6 either been from Paige or Alley. Paige leads all scorers with 4, and she has done so on 7 attempts. St. Francis on the attack, heading left to right in white. SFU is 2 of 10 so far. Bucknell 8 of 15. SFU 0-4 in the power play. Bucknell 1 of 3 on the player advantage. Well, according to statistics, SFU does not have a power play. Well, might have, might have not. Under 10 on the shot clock. Takes it off the pipes. Goal throw for Gove. We'll see if this goes in. That will do it for the first half of play. Number 21 Bucknell in dark leads it 8-2 over number 25 St. Francis of Loretto, Pennsylvania. Paige Ferrano has 4. Allie Ferrano, Bella Moynihan, Megan McCoy have 1 apiece. Halbauer and Stooks have the tallies for the Red Flash. Rivera has 6 saves for St. Francis, 4 for Bucknell Sam Gove. St. Francis 2 of 10 in shots, 8 of 15 for Bucknell. It's halftime here, and that means it's time for a Cap 7 tip of the week.
Hi, my name is Kelly Mann, and I played for Stanford and currently for the New York Athletic Club. Let's ramp up the degree of difficulty on our off-the-water shots by adding a defender. So let's talk about which of our 3 shots we would do based on where the defender is on your body. So if the defender's on your weak side, so for me I'm right-handed, that would be defender on my back but more on my left side, I would typically do the first shot we worked on, which is our big underwater pickup, be able to maneuver the ball, and I typically would do a double leg kick away from the defender and then follow through on my shot. If the defender is on my opposite side, I'm right-handed and they're on my strong side, so they're on the side with my arm. I wouldn't want to do that shot because they could get a hold of my elbow and hit it down and my shot would end up going up. So that's one of the ones where I would probably do more of a tee shot or a quick screw shot. Really fast, stays in front of me, and the defender really can't mess with it too much. If they do try to, it would typically be called a penalty, so you'll get the shot out of it anyway. And the last one, if the defender is directly on your back, that might be an opportunity too for you to take advantage of that and almost stroke even more, maybe a little bit longer, because the referee, if the defender's directly on your back like a backpack, is bound to call up some sort of kick out. So to make sure to let go of the ball for a second, take a couple more strokes. If they're still not calling anything, then getting a quick shot off, whether it's a quick tee shot or just popping it up and pushing it off of the water. That's what I would do when a defender's directly on my back. Let's always remember, keep your hips up, elbows high, use that wrist, and get it off quick before your defender comes down on you.
The Alumni Initiative is an important program established by the CWPA. We're asking graduating seniors to get involved after their collegiate seasons are over by becoming a referee, mentor, coach, or financial supporter. By engaging our alumni after graduation, we can add programs, make playing more fun, and reduce costs. If you or someone you know is interested, contact the CWPA office at 610-277-6787 or office at collegiatewaterpolo.org. Now, halftime about to come to a close. Bucknell 8, St. Francis 2. 2 in the first, 6 in the second for the Bison. 1 in the first, 1 in the second for St. Francis. Paige Ferrano had 4 of the 6 Bucknell goals in the second. Her sister Allie, the all-time leading scorer for Bucknell, had 1. Megan McCoy also had 1 in the second. In the first quarter, Kelly Hyam and Bella Moynihan chipped in with scores. So far for St. Francis, the Lone scorers, Taylor Halbauer and Amis Sukes. On the NCAA scoreboard, number 8 Hawaii leads host number 6 UC Irvine in the fourth quarter 10-6. And in the fourth quarter out in Stockton, California, host number 13 Pacific is leading Fresno Pacific 19-6. This weekend we also planned on bringing you Women's Division III CWPA action from Penn State Barron. Unfortunately, conditions did not permit for that tournament to take place. Hopefully next weekend, April 17th and 18th, we'll be able to contest the Women's CWPA Division III Championship Tournament at Carthage College in Kenosha, Wisconsin. That is to be determined with seeding. Bucknell wins the sprint to begin the third quarter, heading right to left and dark. There's Ali Ferrano. Ferrano and Hyam have combined for more than 450 goals. Now we'll take it from the point, under 10 the shot clock. That is deflected. The last touch apparently by Bucknell out of play was Linda Rivera with the outlet for SFU, heading left to right in white. Ordinary foul. St. Francis 2 of 10 in the first half on shots. Looked like an offensive foul or offside call on the red flash. Sam Gove has it now. Now the outlet. Good dribble, heading right to left for Bucknell. We'll take it to the right. Swing left with a drive pass. Another cross cut to the right flat. Up to the point. Thinking about it, instead we'll take it up to the point. And Emma Molaski, but blocked in the field. St. Francis, if it wishes to come back, will need to continue these defensive stops. Because in the second quarter, got out of hand. It was 2-1, entering the second in favor of Bucknell. At one point it was 1-1, then Bucknell went on a 5-0 run. Bison will control it back. There is Gove. Bucknell has never finished first or second in a conference tournament in CWPA Division I. Right now will be our first power play of the second half. Bucknell would love to capitalize, especially on senior day. Marcela Herrera hasn't scored in this one, but Ali Ferrano and Kelly Hyam, they each have at least one goal. Now we'll feed it off inside, and that was a brick wall created by Rivera. Actually, Heather Jacobson, I believe, is in the game now. I believe there's a different cap number, so sorry if I misidentify the keeper. Look at the pressure. St. Francis having difficult time getting past the half distance area. Bucknell coming up with the loose change scoop. Jacobson is waiting. In cage, it's Jacobson now in relief of Rivera. Way out in front, and it skips past her. 9-2, Bucknell. Another goal for Megan LaCroix. Her second, the sophomore from Saratoga, California, who shared Player of the Week honors with teammate Kaylee Hyam for last week. Making her voice heard. That will make it now 2 in the first, 6 in the second, 1 in the third for the Bison. And for number 25, FSU in white, 1-0. This is the St. Francis team which has not scored 20 goals in the game in its program history. Its longest win streak, I believe, 2018, 8-game at one point. It was not in conference play. Oh, found that opening and smashes it. Herrera, the senior, to make it 10-2, timeout Jay O'Neill. And with that, all 3 Bucknell seniors have at least 1 tally. Full timeout. It is now 10-2 in favor of the number 21 Bison over St. Francis. And while they take a breather, so would we.
I am Wolf Weigo, co-founder of Cap 7. I'm going to talk about the Cap 7 skip ball. It's a great little ball for kids to play with for a number of reasons. It's soft, bounces really well, just a lot of fun. Everyone I've ever given one of these to, random people, not even water polo people, they say this is the best ball. Their kid loves it more than any ball. Get yours at cap7.com today and enjoy your skipping.
4:13 to go in the third quarter. Bucknell in dark 10, St. Francis in white 2. On the NCAA scoreboard, we had a good one involving UCLA, Arizona State in the top 10 matchup. Number 2 UCLA outlasting the Arizona State Sun Devils in Tempe 11-10, 2 overtimes. That's a heck of a game. University of Michigan went 1-1 against Arizona State at the Arizona State Invitational back in late February. So to reset, in terms of conference standings, University of Michigan has already locked up the number 1 seed for the tentative April 24th CWPA D1 Championship Tournament. Right now, the 2 seeds up for grabs. Whoever wins this current game would be number 2. The loser would be the 3rd. Michigan is 6-0 in the conference. Bucknell 1-2. St. Francis 1-2. Mount St. Mary 0-4. St. Francis out of the timeout. Gets it broken up by the Bucknell defense. If either of these teams were to have a chance against University of Michigan, definitely got to get the defense shored up. Also, capitalize on the power play. Michigan does not concede many goals down a player. The Scorcher sizzles out of play. Will throw for Jacobson. With under 4 minutes to play in the third. St. Francis has used a few timeouts in this one. And at this point in the game, down 8, could be a bit tough to come back. 1 full timeout left for St. Francis. Ordinary foul on Bucknell. SFU in white heading left to right. Bucknell right to left and dark. Shot clock at 5. Gotta take a heave. And puffing out her chest, Sam Gove. Quick outlet. For Bucknell, it is the 6th time in 8 games this season it has scored double figures. The only 2 times this season Bucknell has failed to put 10 or more were the 2 losses to Michigan here in Lewisburg. A 16-5 loss on March 20th and either 14-5 or 15-6 earlier today, depending on discrepancy. And Bucknell will bring up the scoring even more. It's Marcela Herrera for the second time to continue a positive showing on her senior day. Ordinary foul. And with the 11 goals, St. Francis has now yielded double figures in back-to-back games. Only once this season has St. Francis won when giving up double figures. 16-12 against Virginia Military Institute at the Villanova Invitational on March 7th. Lost a 13-12 contest at Villanova that weekend. St. Francis able to put one past Gove. Julia Bradford, the junior from Edinburgh, PA, makes it an 8-goal game. First goal of the second half for the Red Flash. With about a minute and change here in the third period. Megan McCroy had just been excluded off to lead to that power play goal. That was a power play goal by Bradford. McCroy has 2 exclusions. Moynihan 2 exclusions. There are 4 players for St. Francis with 1 exclusion apiece. At this point, John McBride has the luxury to go to his bench should any of his players get in further trouble. The leading scorer in this game, Paige Ferrano, number 4 tallies. Her sister Allie, the all-time leading scorer at 276 plus goals, has 1. Gove couldn't handle. That was a hot rod. St. Francis starting to find its sea bearings. That's Taylor Halbauer with her second of the contest. And St. Francis is within 7. The time of the essence here in the third. You only get 8 minutes per quarter. Jacobson in net after the first half had been tasked by Rosalinda Rivera. 5 on the shot clock. Good deflection for Jacobson. Now if St. Francis were to get another one here, it can make things interesting heading down the stretch in this one. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third for SFU. 2 in the first, 6 in the second, 3 in the third for the Bison. Ordinary foul in enemy territory. Inside 6 meters. Many of you are used to 5-meter area. Still in play for penalty throws. Off the pipes. Is there enough time? Nope. The net will do it for the third quarter of play. Bucknell outscoring the Red Flash 3-2 in the third. And it's still Bucknell up big on its senior day, heading to the final regulation period.
Cap 7 is a small company that started out of the back of our garages, and we were doing clinics and camps around the country. We pride ourselves as a company with Cap 7 and Turbo to sponsor as much and give back to the sport as much as we can. Last year we gave over $250,000 back to the sport, and all our products are built by water polo players and for water polo players.
You're watching the CWPA broadcast brought to you by Cap 7.
Hi, I'm Wolf Weiger with Cap 7. There's 1 more quarter to go in this game. 4th quarter coming up now.
Cap 7 is the premier water polo provider specializing in all your water polo needs. Visit cap7.com to find the gear you need to take your game to the next level. Cap 7 is a proud sponsor of the CWPA network. Bucknell has not trailed in this one, had been 1-1 at one point in the first quarter. Paige Verano has 4, Herrera has 2, LaCroix has 2, Moynihan and Ali Verano 1 apiece. Also, Callie Hyam, another senior, has a goal. 2 goals for Halbauer and 1 apiece for Sukes and Bradford for the Red Flash. As we head into the fourth quarter of play, we're going to take our best look at the top 25 for the week. USC at number 1. How about number 2, UCLA? Oof. Not long ago, wrapped up an 11-10 overtime win over number 5 Arizona State. That had to be a heated contest. Michigan is number 7. And Bucknell tied for Marist at 21st. St. Francis, for the 3rd time this season, ranked at number 25. We hope you are enjoying the action here in the CWPA network, as if the circumstances allow us. We plan on having more streams in store. Keep checking CWPA.com for upcoming streams, and be sure to check out CollegiateWaterPolo.org for upcoming schedules and all things water polo. All regular season remote broadcasts are now free of charge, courtesy of the CWPA. Well, the hope is fall 2021 we get men's club water polo. We did not have any club water polo this year. Last time we had club water polo was on March 8th, 2020. That had been the last time we had streamed on CWPATV.com until we did Fordham versus Iona and men's MAWPC East action on February 12th of this year, which turned out to be Fordham's lone game of the season for men's varsity due to extraordinary circumstances. You're watching CWPA Women's Division I Varsity from Kenny Natatorium in Lewisburg, PA on Sunday, April 11th, 2021. Scott Samuel Weiss here on CWPATV.com. Thank you to Gabe Gross for his camera work in our first game. Nadine Anderson assisting us with camera in games 2 and this game, game 3. Thank you to all, including the coaches, referees, players, fans, other personnel, athletic personnel, transportation workers for making this possible, and the parents. Now Zilchikov drops the rock. And it's Bucknell controlling the tip for our final quarter of regulation. Bucknell 2 in the first, 6 in the second, 3 in the third. SFU 1, 1, and 2. Bucknell is 4-3, 1-2 in the conference. 8-9 is SFU, 1-2 in the conference. So the winner of this one would get sole possession of second place in CWPA D1, with 2 conference games left apiece on April 17th in Emmitsburg, Maryland. Should the schedule remain that way, each team would take on each other and Mount St. Mary's. The Mount looking for its first win of the conference campaign. Because right now, Michigan is locked up as the top seed in this conference. 2 and 3 up in the air between these two teams, and slicing and dicing the goal there is St. Francis. Julia Bradford with her second to join Halberger for the leading tally makers, and for the Red Flash it's 11-5 now. 6 goal difference. Addison Williams credited for the assist. Bradford out of Edinburgh Williams from Clovis, California. Clovis, I believe, in Fresno County, like Fresno State. Just waiting for the officials to allow the play to come back. Exclusion situation. No one has 2 exclusions for St. Francis. LaCroix and Moynihan have 2 apiece, though, for Bucknell. So got to be careful. One more means your day is done. So Bison on the attack, heading right to left in dark. About 6 or so minutes left in regulation. Bucknell has never trailed. Shot clock winding down. And it will be a fresh 35, 6 on 5. John McBride will also call timeout. And it will be a full timeout. Score is 11-5 Bucknell over St. Francis. And make sure you check us out on Twitter at CWPA Water Polo for all the latest updates on what is happening around the league. Also, be sure to check out our YouTube page for tons of water polo content. There's John McBride, 10th season at the helm. On March 20th, the 21-5 win over Mount St. Mary's here at Kennedy Natatorium. Got his 140th win as Bucknell's head coach to become the winningest coach in program history, passing John Ziegler. Earlier that day, he was unable to coach, unavailable to coach. Fortunately, he was able to get his team to a big win. And that's a way, what a way to break the wins record. So Bucknell out of the full timeout called by Coach McBride. Hayden Wong was whistled for an exclusion, drew the attention of an official. Hayden Lang, and that's Lang's second, so she needs to be careful. Jacobson able to snatch it from the jaws of crossing the plane. Hyam had it off the post. Now Jacobson looking for options. It's a 6-goal game, trying to get it down to 5. There's not a lot of room left to perhaps get back quickly, but you need to take advantage of this power play if you're St. Francis. SFU of Loretto, Pennsylvania, host Bucknell of Lewisburg, PA. SFU traveling down I-80 to get here. Skip shot, second effort will touch the rope, and it should be Bucknell ball. Hey, if you're Jay O'Neill, you have to like that possession. Even though it didn't result in the goal, you remained aggressive. That's what you need to do if you want to stay in games. Be aggressive. Don't be afraid to take rebounds for misses. Bucknell has never trailed in this one. Tied 1-1, scored the first goal of this game. Taking it from the point, set for the hole. Loose ball. Might have been a ball under called against Bucknell. And that is a turnover, may have been an offsides. Had been an offensive foul though. Now Bucknell on the attack. It was an offensive foul. Off the post by Herrera. Oh, and a 2-meter. Where did that ball go? Nope, no 2-meter. Bucknell hoping to improve to 5-3 and 2-2 in the conference. SFU on the verge of dropping to 8-10 and 1-3 in the conference. And Jay O'Neill called timeout. Emma Molaski whistled for an exclusion drawn by Maddie Voss of SFU. 3:58 to go in regulation. It's Bucknell, the 21st ranked team in the dark 11, and it's number 25, St. Francis of Pennsylvania in the white 5. And there's limited regular season action left on the season. With 3:58 to go in this one. Make sure you visit our website, collegiatewaterpolo.org, to stay up to date on league news, schedules, and new initiatives as we continue to grow the sport of water polo. Also can get streaming information. That's collegiatewaterpolo.org. On the NCAA scoreboard, a final from Stockton, California. Number 13 Pacific really charged into Fresno Pacific, 22-8. Hawaii, number 8, defeated number 6 and host UC Irvine, 10-6. Mercyhurst defeated Gannon in WWPA play, 10-7. McKendree lost to Salem, 16-9. I believe if the circumstances permit, if it hasn't been canceled, Stanford and USC, number 2 at number 1 at 4 p.m. Eastern. That should be a heck of a matchup. But it's 11-5 now. Power play opportunity for St. Francis. Red Flash takes it and capitalizes. St. Francis trailed 8-2 at halftime, has scored 4 goals since, has allowed 3. Mies Sukes, her second. Halbauer, Sukes, and Bradford, 2 apiece. Paige Ferrender still leads the way for all scorers for Bucknell with 4. Bucknell 11-20 and 6 on shots. SFU 6 of 16. Bucknell, though, knowing that it's losing a little bit of its mojo. Ferrano, that's Paige. Jacobson gets it, and oh boy, an offensive foul. Right out of the chute for SFU. Bucknell gets it right back. Now I'll take it to the right flat, up top. Faking about it, not pulling the trigger yet. Another dry pass. 10 on the shot clock. Maybe we'll take it now. Lost the handle. Loose ball taken by St. Francis. Bucknell wanted to take a shot. Not a smart play, though. About 3 or so minutes left here. 2 in the first, 6 in the second, 3 in the third, 0 in the fourth for Bucknell. 1-1, 2 and 2 for St. Francis. Another exclusion foul called in the pool. So St. Francis yet again on the power play. By the way, Bella Moynihan has been excluded from the game. She has 3 exclusion fouls, number 9. And St. Francis, time might be of the essence, but Mies Sukes with her third of the game. And all of a sudden, at one point, what had been such a large lead It was 11-4 entering this quarter. In favor of Bucknell. It was down 11-7. So Bucknell now up by a few. Time about 2 or fewer minutes left in regulation. Actually, Rebecca Pendleton had been credited with the score according to the Fosh.net. We're sorry if that is inaccurate. I'm going by what statistics have provided. 11-7. St. Francis, though, not going away, but with a minute or so left in this one. Having trouble getting it past. The first half, mainly the second quarter, that was the difference. Whoa, that is from Loretto, Pennsylvania. And all of a sudden, 11-8. St. Francis is not going away. And these Sooks, that's at least her third now. To lead all Red Flash players. Now St. Francis knows time is almost up. That it is playing defense in a way it wants to poke the ball, and good pressure. But is there enough time for the comeback to continue? It was 11-4 entering this quarter, a 4-0 run for St. Francis, but not that time. Kaylee Hyam, just one goal to our knowledge, has it. And boy, right now, Rebecca Pendleton trying to take it away. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the game. A valiant effort by St. Francis toward the end, but not enough, as number 21 Bucknell takes care of business. 11-8 over the number 25 rank St. Francis, Pennsylvania Red Flash. And with that, Bucknell improves to 5-3 on the season, 2-2 in the conference to move to second place with 2 conference games remaining on the season. St. Francis drops to 8-10. 1-3 in the conference with 2 games remaining to right now being third out of 4 teams. Paige Ferrano with 4 goals. Ali Ferrano had 1. LaCroix with 2. Herrera with 2. Moynihan with 1. And Hyam with 1. Sooks and Bradford credited with at least 3 goals apiece. And Taylor Halbauer had 2 goals. Sam Gove had at least 5 saves in net for the Bison. Rosalinda Rivera had 6 stops. Heather Jacobson relieved her in the second half. So the final score, number 21 Bucknell and Dark 11. Number 25 St. Francis 8, as Bucknell wins its senior recognition game. That will do it here from Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. Thank you to our camera operators, Gabe Gross and Nadine Anderson. Our director of multimedia is Justin Seipert. Commissioner Dan Sheridan. Ed Haas is the communications director. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in here from the CWPA network. Thank you to Stretch Internet, our internet provider. Also thank you to Cap 7. I'm Scott Samuel David Weiss. Again, the final score, Bucknell and Dark 11, St. Francis and White 8. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone, and keep checking out collegiatewaterpolo.org to stay up to date on league news, schedules, and more. Have a great rest of your weekend, ladies and gentlemen.